here's the next version of Dr. Templeman talking about those great M products. Now, these are our products. And you'll notice that we do not have the rocket, nor do we have the edge here on the screen. And the reason for that is because they are still under consideration in the lab segment of our processing. And we have not yet come to a decision based on feedback from the field about whether they will eventually be enshrined in sticks or not. So that's part of the question I have to ask you tonight. Let us know how you feel about those products that are in the lab segment of our processing so that we can know whether we need to tweak them or whether they are satisfying for you. Give us your feedback. But for these products that are out here, I've already had considerable amounts of feedback. Now, I'll tell you that I'm pushing on the powers that be here so that as soon as is feasible, I want to get feedback on every product that someone purchases so that there will be a email, I would imagine, possibly a text that will come to you and say, we noticed that you purchased some of our smart product. This is a product that we are very proud of, and we would appreciate it if you would mind answering a few questions for us. And then there will be some little check boxes that will give us an idea about how well we're doing with the product and the population in general. But based on the presumption that all of these products, which are selling extremely well and which have piles of testimonials about their efficacy, are really great products, I wanted to help you make a comparison that leaps out at me about how we can do something that is good with these products. Now, this is me, and I'm sure that most of you know that it is. This is me standing in the supermarket where I go to buy my food. And this is me in front of a array of many products talking about hydration. And that's not the only thing that's there. This is me one aisle over, because in this store, and by the way, I haven't even put the soda segment into these slides because that's another 2 aisles. But there are 4 aisles of things which we are being encouraged to drink. In other words, that's where we're getting our hydration. Now, I want to draw your attention to a study that I think was Dr. Robbins who talked to me about it. And he said to me that this study showed that in New York City, not too long ago, when a group of primary school students, a large group, someone was actually trying to get to a conclusion, were asked if they drunk any water during the day, and this was at the end of the day, and a very significant proportion of them said, no, we haven't had any water to drink. Now, the fact that underhydration is important because we need to have a lot of fluid in our body, water ideally, on a daily basis in order for all of the metabolic functions that we require to be functioning effectively. But underhydration is unfortunately pretty much the norm in North America. Now, it's not dehydration to the extent where you're getting into a hospital emergency room and having someone hook up normal saline into your arm, but it often is. I know that sounds silly, but a good friend of mine, for example, who was trying to lose some weight, and she felt like, therefore, she had to restrict everything. And what she did was on a hot summer's day, even though she was going out with the family for an activity out of doors where the temperatures were going to be elevated, she was conscious of the fact, I'm not going to eat anything that's going to be not on my list. I'm only going to eat a margin of what I would normally eat, and I'm also not going to drink stuff because I can pick up a glass of water and I know what that weighs. And I know how the scales just inch down when I have a good urination experience. So she was watching water as something that she needed to restrict. And that evening when she got home with her husband, she said, I really don't feel well. And she collapsed and fainted. And of course, 911, and they whipped her off to the hospital and looked at everything. It was many thousands of dollars of looking as they tried to figure out what was wrong. And what was wrong is the poor lady was dehydrated. She was dehydrated. So being underhydrated is a preliminary state for dehydration. And while dehydration is not going to be an experience that most of us, thank heaven, are going to have, we still need to really concentrate on what we're putting into our body as fluids. Now, we know we need water. And M has been saying hydration with nutrition and great taste is going to get you to take what your body requires in terms of water and to do it appropriately. Now, let's take a look at some of what I saw when I was in this store with these hundreds of products. I saw things that I'm sure most people would recognize, such as vitamin water. And vitamin water, and I think I've got some Sobe here. These are not names that your friends, that your family, or that you do not understand. These are common everyday things that you will see. Now, this one, which is Powerade, and again, I don't think we're talking about something that no one has ever seen or drunk.
These are not secret hidden products. These are out there.
Yeah, all over. This is what everybody in your neighborhood is buying. Otherwise, there wouldn't be 4 rows of products in your local grocery store. Well, I threw this one up because it's really interesting. In North America, when you put things on labels, you are obliged to do it in the following order. The thing that is the most important in terms of quantity is there. And then the second thing is there. And then the third. And so quantitatively, when you look at this, you can see that Powerade, thank goodness they have water in it. They do have water in it. But what's ingredient number 2? High fructose corn syrup. Goodness gracious. I don't even need to spend a minute talking about that because it's already become a hiss and a byword in every North American family. So here's something that is on your shelves that is being purchased, millions of dollars of it every day, I would assume, in the United States, and it's got bad stuff. And I'm going to show you some calculations with a horrible number. Sugars, 21 grams. Total carbohydrates, there's a little bit of some other carbohydrate in there, is 22 grams. Now I'm going to tell you what I believe to be true, and unless I'm making a very fundamental error, it is, and that is that every gram of carbohydrate is equivalent in energy to 4 calories. So we have arguably sugar at 21, another carbohydrate gram, 22, times 4 is 80. I don't know whether I'm right or not. I'm probably wrong because there it is after all the lawyers have looked at it. But it doesn't make sense to me. But here's the thing that's important. Go to YouTube now and take a look at 21 grams of sugar, and they will quantify that for you by building a little edifice out of sugar cubes or putting a mound of sugar up. And you will realize what you're getting. So you're not just getting things that your body needs, such as water. You're getting all kinds of things that your body does not need.
And you're probably going to get to this, but I'm so fired up about it right now. I'm looking at those 21 sugars, the 22 carbohydrates, and then you realize that's just per serving. And when you multiply it by the number of servings in the container, it's even higher. So I look at
I'm glad I got you here. I didn't see that.
I look at a container and I think if I'm thirsty after a run or a soccer or volleyball or tennis, I'm going to drink the whole thing. I'm not counting out how many servings I'm going to get. If I've got a bottle of this stuff, I'm drinking 2.5 times what is listed below. That's a little disingenuous, I think.
Okay, this is 2.5 times as bad as I told you about. And so we move on knowing that there are products, for example, like Cascade and Ice. I had never seen them. They weren't household words as far as I was concerned, but I was putting this up because of the 10 for 10. Hey, it's on sale. You can get a bottle of water for $1 that has flavoring in it. Nothing but flavoring. No other thing to make it taste good and also bring nutrients in. So look, we're head and shoulders above that. Now, here's our antioxidant product. This is my favorite product. It may not be yours. I had an argument with somebody the other day who was telling me why the Smart should be our best product, and I agreed with them that it has incredible ingredients in it and that it really does do something that most of us, at least at my age, require on a daily basis. But I love this one because I'm the mangosteen guy. And the Core AO is an immunity support, does a lot more than that, but it is being marketed as immunity support, disease fighting, with mangosteen, acai, arginine, bilberry, grapeseed extract, and catechins. Now, what you may not realize is that the mangosteen here has several categories or families of elements in it that are antioxidants. It has almost more catechins than green tea does by dry weight. It has the category of xanthones, and I think that's why we've got it here, because the acai berry, the arginine, the bilberry, the grapeseed extract, and the catechins represent all of the other major families in nature that bring antioxidants to the body and have been studied well enough to know the value that anthocyanidins, proanthocyanidins actually have for the body. Now, here is the ingredient slide for the nutritional facts on this. And again, look at the carbohydrates compared to what we were looking at. 2 grams of carbohydrates, total 5 calories. Isn't that different than what we just saw? Isn't that nutrition and hydration and tastes great? Next product. Let's roll on to what's on the shelves in competition with this. Now, I don't understand the brand name Bai is not anything that I'm sure the people who are making it hope that it's going to become a household word, but I don't think it has, and I'm not sure that it will. But I put it up there because they have on their ingredient pack several of the same things that we have, but look at the price. Look at the price, $2.29 for a bottle of it compared to our product price of $1.50. That is something that makes us superior. You shouldn't be the least bit hesitant about trying to convince your friends, family, and acquaintances, maybe even strangers, that they can get for $1.50 something that is really superior to this product. The energy stick that we have is a great energy stick. It has ingredients in. I'm going to let you take a look at them. A proprietary Go blend of green coffee bean extract, guarana extract, and yerba mate extract. Now, these happen to be, ladies and gentlemen, the 3 most consumed products in the world when people are looking to get mental clarity and a little bit of physical energy. If you go to South America, you will find that people are taking guarana extract in many different forms. And yerba mate can be purchased on the street, just like coffee can be purchased on the street here in North America. And that is a source of 110 milligrams of caffeine, which is the major element in this, that comes from nature. And the body, interestingly, when we have non-synthetic products that come from nature containing caffeine, looks at caffeine as if it were a food and not a drug. But if you have synthetic caffeine, you are looking at, the body will look at it as if it's a drug and do its very best to get rid of it. Now, there are levels of B vitamins in here that are interesting. We've got some magnesium, sodium, and potassium as well, the electrolytes that the body requires. But the vitamin B levels are not the horrific amounts that you will find in other drinks. Let's take a look at some of the other drinks that are out there. Here they are. You recognize them: Rockstar, Red Bull, Monster. These have, in various forms, things that you don't need in the quantities that they've put them in. Sometimes there's 4,000 percentage of the daily recommended amount of some of the B vitamins that they've got in there. We don't know why they're there. I can see a good reason to have a small number of B vitamins essential for metabolic processes throughout the body, but not horrific amounts. And that's what they've got, in addition to, in many of their formats, tons of sugar. So do we have a better product? Absolutely. No sugar high. It works well, gives you the clarity and the energy that you need temporarily, but spread over on a curve that is not a straight spike the way that sugar and artificial caffeine will give you, but spread over time in the way that the body metabolizes elements like caffeine that are dealt with as food. Now, next one, mood enhancer. Now, I told you that my favorite was Choreo, but I love the Soul because I think about it as my what the hell stick. Now, I know that that sounds kind of crude, but the fact of the matter is that when I go to bed at night...
Now we have to slap a PG-13 on this webinar.
Well, that's all right. This is not for children.
Thank you. Good call. Good call.
So the Soul is something that is intended to help you change the way your brain is working temporarily by seeking out some of the alpha. Now, alpha is the nice, it's an awareness, it's a state of awareness, but alpha waves in the brain are associated with just feeling calm and cool. And that's what the ingredients that we put in here are intended to do. There is a whiff of caffeine in there because you can't completely nod off, but I very often will take a couple of these an hour or so before I intend to retire to turn my brain off. That's what I hope that we all can benefit from when we get these. They're like they're on a never-ending tape. It just goes round and round. Talk about having a song in your head. Sometimes I get family in the head. I get all of the concerns and worries that evolving families have, and I can't get it out of my head. Or business, or a patient. You know, I just need sometimes to be able to pull the curtains across, and this really helps me do that. And the ingredients are things that would make you believe that this has something to do with the brain. Yerba mate is something that we know it helps the brain to work a little bit better when it needs to work. We've got Siberian ginseng. We have elderberry, ginkgo biloba. How many have heard of ginkgo biloba in the brain? Extract. We have green coffee bean extract, and we have guarana. Now, guarana is not simply a source of caffeine, and I'll talk about that later. It's got a number of really interesting lipids in it that are good for your body. So that's our product. It works well. When you look to try and compare it with what are on the shelves to get even any of those ingredients that are on there, and let's take a look at the Bliss, because that's the one that in this particular product that was on the shelf, by the way, $2.79 for a cup of Bliss, and we can get a whole bottle of our stuff for a lot less. But they are charging $2.79, and they don't have the quantity or the variety of elements that are in what we have. So are you going to be able to convince your neighbors? Just buy one of these, turn it around, take your stick and show them what's in it. I think the argument is simple. So let's run on to the nootropic. This is the product that I was arguing with the other day. The man I was arguing with is 80 years of age. So I was respectful. He's several years my senior, and I realized that he may need it more than I do because I'm not having the same kind of eclipse of my intellectual capacity that many of my peers are. Nonetheless, this is a tremendous nootropic. Now think about nootropics. If you haven't thought about them, realize that they were developed for astronauts, for test pilots, for people who have to be alert, for soldiers, for surgeons, for people who need to be at their peak performance with everything that's going on in their skull getting transmitted out, not only to their own body, but to tremendously complex machinery, and to do it without error. And that's where nootropics come from. And when you take a look at what's in here, you've got L-theanine. Now, L-theanine is an amino acid derived from immature green tea leaves that is used to help pull out recent memory. The studies are primarily with students who are performing in exams where they're attempting to recall with great detail the things that they have learned in the near past. Bacopa monnieri is a wonderful plant associated with mentation improvement that has existed for centuries in a number of paradigms of traditional medicine, particularly Ayurveda. Caffeine from green tea, from green coffee bean, is going along with the L-theanine to make sure. By the way, caffeine is an incredible nootropic. It happens to be very common, so we don't think of it as being a nootropic, but it really does improve intellectual performance in the short term. Ginseng extract, take a look at those things, we've got them. But the one that I really like is huperzine. Now, huperzine is a product that has been drugified. I don't mean to say that in a kind of crude way, but there are people who are trying to make this into a therapeutic for the treatment of Alzheimer's disease and the improvement of memory. So have we got great stuff in our products? Absolutely, we do. Do these people have stuff in their products that's good? A whiff and a sniff, but nothing the way we do and at a price that doesn't make a single bargain on that whole shelf. Let's look at trim. Trim, I was talking with Richard O'Brien the other day, and he whipped open an order sheet that he'd received where somebody had bought 131 boxes of trim. And he said to me, you know, she does that every month or so. And I said, she's got to be the thinnest person in the world. And then he told me that, no, she's retailing this out to people who want to be the thinnest people in the world. But appetite control is something that we really, really struggle with, particularly here in North America. I joke and say that when I'm not losing weight, I'm gaining it. And it's an awareness that needs to be there. And this is the kind of appetite control that you can take every day for as long as you need it, because it has ingredients in it that are relatively simple to get a hold of, but they do help you control your appetite. Now, let's take a look at the next one. This is back up here where we have the same thing. You look at trim over there. I don't know where they got that name, but you look at it, $2.79. The real deal?
Not quite.
No, I think not. Here is the big boy. This is the burn capsule. And have we got stories that go with the burn capsule? Now, we show you over here, and we also have, look at this little panel down here. It says, not intended for individuals under the age of 18 years. Do not use it pregnant or nursing. And then it goes on and talks about a few things that can happen. When you're trying to really heavily suppress, you know, the trim is a fly swatter. You can use that every day. This is a sledgehammer. You're going to put a dent in the floor when you hit the cricket. This is a heavy-duty appetite suppressant, cranks up your basal metabolic rate as much as we possibly can with supplements. And we have ingredients in there that I don't recommend that people use every day if they're not obese and if they are not overweight and they are not losing weight. This is not a product that is intended to be used by normal people, normal weight people. This is a product that can cause rapid heart rate because of some of the ingredients in it. And there are some people who can't or shouldn't use it. And your doctors will help you decide that. But if you've got a problem with being overweight or obese, there is an inherent risk in that state of being as far as the diseases that you are susceptible for that easily mitigates the very small amount of care that is required if you're going to use this, because you are going to be losing weight. When you lose weight, for every single pound of fat that disappears, a mile of blood vessels disappears. Think what that'll do for your blood pressure as you lose weight. When you lose weight, you drop insulin resistance, so that if you're diabetic, think about how weight loss with appropriate activity will make a tremendous difference in a disease that is horrific and kills thousands of our confrères every day. So this is a great product. And let's take a look at what we have here in terms of research. Now, I must tell you, this was given to me the other day by Ryan, so I have not read the actual study, but I'm going to go and read it. Why? Because look at the story about blood sugar. This is an ingredient that we have in there. It's sourced from aloe vera, and it says Aloria reduced fasting blood glucose levels 41% within 30 days and maintained it through 90 days. That's striking. Now, I'm going to go out and look at the actual research and get back to you on it, but I'm impressed by what I've seen so far. And here is the way I'm going to close this out. I decided to go into a GNC because I couldn't find any products on the shelves in that grocery store that equated in terms of ingredients and amounts to correspond with our burn. So I went to a GNC store and I looked up on the supplement packages and the ingredients something that came close. And it did come close, but not in price. Look at that, $75.99. And here's the front of that product. Do not buy it. We've got something really inexpensive, does a better job. So essentially, here are our products. And this is Dr. Templeman signing off, telling you, you have got products that are going to help people hydrate with great taste and with incredible things for nutrition. And if you're a fatty like I am, you can use the other two products together to be able to help suppress that natural instinctive movement of the hand to the fork, to the plate, to the mouth, repeated infinitely in your life. I'm glad to be with you. I love these products. They're great products. And you know what? We got more great products coming down the line. Thank you.
Thanks, Fred.